Good morning and welcome back to the morning show. Sitting here with Bo Court and the showroom of Aquatic Pools and Landscape. Bo, how are you?
Good. How you doing, Bruce?
I like this. Thank you very much. This is nice. It's a nice, comfy couch. How's it going?
Good. Real good. Been
Yeah?
busy. Yeah.
I understand you've been getting very busy. Obviously, this is a busy time of year, isn't it?
Sure. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, usually right before summer, people are trying to get that pool in, before it gets too hot out and it starts showing nice weather, and then that's when they get antsy about it. So, yeah.
Certainly had a little bit of a break with weather here the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, a little warm and then it cools off, a little warm, cools off.
Right.
But I'm afraid that's going to go away pretty soon.
Well, they say we're going to have a hot summer, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
We're
wouldn't
getting up
doubt it.
earlier and earlier to get started in the morning.
Yeah, now people can still get in there and possibly get a pool in by the end of the year.
Definitely. We just signed one just the past couple of days and let them know that within 6 weeks they'd be swimming. So.
Really?
Yeah. So
That's fantastic.
It all depends on the size of the project,
Sure.
We put people in, once they're signed up, then they go right next on the list, and we just go right on down the line. So depends on the size of the project, obviously.
Right.
We're still getting people in there pretty quick.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
More popular, Gunite or fiberglass?
Definitely fiberglass if they can find a shape that they like that works for them. The depth, the shallow end, the amount of seats or benches, if they're going to use it for swimming laps, or if they're just going to use it for a lounging pool, and they can find something in a fiberglass, I definitely recommend fiberglass. But in a lot of cases, you get into some of those custom jobs, you want maybe a concrete sitting area inside the pool. We don't always offer that in a fiberglass.
Right.
So have to go with a Gunite.
So, and probably putting a fiberglass in is a little quicker than a Gunite, but you've still got to dig a hole, you got to put all the plumbing in and make sure you've got a good solid foundation for that pool, I would assume.
Sure. The thing with the Gunite pool is you do have to let it sit there for a little bit and leach out before you end up putting your waterproofing, whether you go with a plaster finish or a pebble tech or even a glass finish inside the pool. So that may take a little bit longer, but not too awful bad.
Excellent.
We just started a fiberglass one, and we dug it last week, plumbed it, poured concrete yesterday. The guys are out there putting the equipment on. They'll be swimming this weekend if
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Boy, that's got to make some people happy.
Yeah, no, definitely.
What's the incidence of pool heaters to the pools you're putting in? Are a lot of people using them? I mean, I find that with my pool, a couple times a year, I will go ahead and warm that water up if I've got company coming in or something like that.
Sure.
And certainly with the jacuzzi attached to it, I need it.
Yeah,
But
it can
other
get a
than
little
that-
costly to end up heating that,
10,000
large-sized
gallons,
pool.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it all depends too, the size and shape and depth, the amount of water that you're going to be trying to heat. This year, we're just getting started on some of our first installs of a new type of solar heating for the water.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, it used to be you would have panels with the tubing that you see on people's roof, and
Right.
you may see them like spiral over in loft, and you'll see some homes that have the spiral.
Yeah.
Or they'll other ones will have another style, but it's just where the water passes up through the plumbing and smaller PVC lines that are usually black. It helps heat the water up, brings it back down, and puts it into the pool, and it heats it up about 7 degrees
Okay. Is
above
that
the
all?
ambient temperature, which isn't a whole lot.
No, it's
There's
not.
new ones that are out. They're actual glass tubes, and it's got a coating inside the tube, and it works kind of like a boiler. The water comes in, goes down inside of these glass tubes. The glass tubes are kind of like Gorilla Glass, like you would see on solar power
Okay.
on a home, and it heats the water. As it boils, it goes to the top and then goes back out and returns to the pool, where we're seeing an increase of 20 degrees in the pool temperature.
Wow.
Yeah, but we're just getting started in it now. It is getting to that part of the season where people want to heat it up just a little bit, to get in a little bit early into the season.
Yeah.
And towards the end in the fall, you'll see, a lot of solar systems are popular.
I didn't realize there was only a 7-degree variance with those black ones. I mean, I see that a lot.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a lot better than that. but-
Sure. I mean, and that's optimum. I mean, if you end up putting covers on the pool, it's not too windy out.
Yeah.
It is sunny out, but it's just not quite sunny enough to heat that water up above 78, 80 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it about 82, 84, personally. Covers, and you mentioned that. There's many covers. There's the ones you can buy on the big roll and cut it out to fit your pool.
Sure.
And there's certainly the ones that go over the top of the pool. What do you recommend, or do you recommend anything at all?
Yeah, I'm not real big on covers. They do work for like safety situations, obviously.
Right.
But once the temperature does rise out here, you put that cover over the top of the pool, it's really going to get that pool boiling. You know, I would say more of an issue during the summer months is actually getting that pool cooled down. And we do that a lot with water features and stuff just to aerate the pool. But covers, I definitely, they're not the cheapest, but to go with a under track system that actually goes underneath the cantilever, it's just a lot cleaner and nicer installation.
Well, the ones with the matting that you lay down in the pool, you cut and lay, I did that several years ago, many years ago. And the one thing it seemed is that the calcium buildup on the side was horrendous.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it was so much worse with that. Then, of course, you got the leaves blowing in it and everything else. So when you take that thing off, all that stuff dumps into the bottom of the pool, and you've got as much of a mess if you hadn't had it.
See, that's my thing is it will help to bring the temperature up in the pool this time of year.
Right.
So it's a necessary evil that it does sit there on top, and then all the blow sand and leaves do sit on top, and then if you're not careful when you pull it off, it all falls in the pool anyways. The only true cover that's going to stop that from going into the pool is actually getting one of those track systems.
Yeah.
Because it just locks it in. You know, you can't get to the water.
Now, those can be installed after your pool is installed, can they not?
If you do it afterwards, and you have to do it through a track system that actually sits on top of the deck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so not as clean. The tracks get dirt in them, don't work as well. So like I said, underneath the cantilever is where it's really a nice install.
So when people are talking about having a pool, these things that we're talking about probably should be brought up in the discussion. I'm sure they are for consideration down the road, even if okay, I can't afford a heater right now, but you know what? I may want one day, then you guys are going to leave an area for that heater, for the plumbing and everything else. Because it's not that hard to plumb it for a heater after you get it in there. Yeah,
that's just it. And we go over all that stuff. So, you know, so many times you just get people that pop in, hey, what's a pool cost? Well, it's like, what's a car cost? It depends.
$12.95 at Kmart, right?
Know, and there's a lot of options. So with people, when they do come in the door and they just want to know that price, dig in, because there's a lot that goes into a pool. You know, whether you want to put tile on it, the salt system, the chlorinator, the heater, the solar system, the remote control system. I mean, there's so many different options that it's like buying a car, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want a Fiat or do you want a Mercedes?
Right.
What do you want to go with, you know?
Now, the salt system, as opposed to a regular canister type filter, far more effective?
Well, you're still going to have the same type of filter, but the actual salt system is just going to be a little bit, it's a chlorine generator. So it's just a different way to actually get the chlorine into your pool as opposed to an autochlorinator.
Sand filters.
Sand filters work well out here because of the fact you can backwash them, clean them out a lot easier than what you can with a diatomaceous earth filter. But the downside is that diatomaceous earth filter is going to give you the finest clarity. Yeah. So you notice it more at night. You turn the lights on in the pool and you see the floaties and stuff.
Yeah.
When you use a DE filter, it's less likely that you're going to have that.
Okay. So there's a million things that could be answered and should be considered when you're talking about a pool, because this is probably the second or third most expensive thing you're going to do in your life is get a pool. And it can be huge, it can be small, but nonetheless, it's going to be a cost, and you want to be prepared for down the road if you want to expand on it. Now, one more thing I want to talk quickly about, the March Madness. You guys were very successful this year.
Yeah, we did real well. Actually had a great year last year, and our first time of doing it, but March promotion was all the guys grow mustaches, and we call it Mustache March Madness. And then we donate proceeds based off of our sales of what we do in hot tub sales.
Awesome.
Swimming pools, spas and swimming pool packages. So we donated $1,800 to the Boys and Girls Club.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so it's good.
Did your son's mustache ever come in?
No, it never came in.
Didn't it really? Oh, well, just not time
yet. He coaches junior high basketball, and there's a couple of kids on the team that have more facial hair than him.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, I bet he's cussing you over that one. Hey, listen, I want to thank you very much for allowing us to come down.
Appreciate it.
These are all questions I think that if you haven't had them and you're thinking about a pool, or you may be thinking about it, certainly put this in the back of your mind. When you come down and see him, you can say, hey, what about? And so the pool you put into your yard or the spa can be absolutely perfect. And by the way, are you guys partying down here after hours?
Why is that?
Well, because you got 2 jacuzzis filled with water in the showroom and it's warm.
Know that we thought about it, though.
Oh, okay. Not that they can talk about. Thanks again, man.
All right. Thank you, Bruce.
All right. Aquatic Pools and Landscape. Aquatic Pools and Landscape. Yeah. Where am I this morning? We'll be back with more of the morning show right after this. Stay with us.